Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Um, yeah, just gonna be playing Legend ZA. Wait, no, not ZA. Arceus, Legends Arceus. And let me see if the audio is working correctly. I've never played this game before. But it's just meant to be like background audio, I guess. Or like background visuals as well. But yeah. So the reason why I wanted to stream this is because last week I did a video on reviewing the Kagurabachi chapter, and it did really well, honestly. It got like 2,000 views, which for a small community like Kagurabachi is like really good. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And yeah, I think it's pretty good for Kagurabachi, honestly, because it's like Kagurabachi is like really small right now still, and that's fine. It's like just manga only for now. No anime yet. So it's a small community. I think 2K views. It's not like I'm JJK where you could post like content slop and get like 20K views easily. But for what it was, I think it did really well, and I was like really thankful for that. And then in the comment section, a lot of people were like asking me, "Yo, post another chapter review next week because this one was really good." And I was like, "Yo, I didn't respond to the ones that were asking for that because I don't want to make like promises that I can't keep." But I did like react to it with like the heart emoji, I think. So then I was like, all right, let's do another one this week. And so Monday morning I was like, all right, sure, let me start making that chapter review, start writing. Like I had like notes from when I was reading the chapter, and yeah, those notes came out to about like 6 pages worth of notes. And so I was like Monday morning super excited. Chapter was really amazing, by the way. And I look at my YouTube channel and I see that I got a copyright strike for the video that I did last week. And so I know from experience and from other people that once you get one of those strikes, I mean, you can fight it, which I did. But the problem is, once you have a strike, your views tank. They get madly suppressed. So yeah, and also if you have one active strike, you're like 2 strikes away from having your channel completely terminated. So I really didn't want to take any risks this week. So yeah, and it was kind of annoying because by the time that I saw that I had a strike, I think it was like in the evening that I saw it, and I wrote like my chapter review and everything, and I had it recorded as well, and I was about to edit it, and then I was like planning to upload it on the Wednesday, because I was thinking, you know, the chapter comes out on Sunday, on Wednesday you get like a review of the chapter, and it kind of allows you to get like a reminder, you know, of like the chapter, how good the chapter was or how good it wasn't. In this case it was good. And then you kind of have like the series in your head for the next week, because it's like the Wednesday's like kind of the midweek. I think Thursday would be more effectively the midweek. Yeah, I was thinking that's kind of like a decent schedule to work with. It gives me some time as well to make the reviews, so I don't need to like throw everything to the side to make them. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good. And then the copyright strike, it kind of just threw a wrench in my plans, unfortunately. And then I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? And I was kind of contemplating it, especially because I had the audio recorded already. And I ultimately decided to just not post it, because it's like I could do it podcast style where it's just me yapping without any like background visuals, but I know that people like the background visuals. That's like something that people like to see. You need like a little visual confirmation on what someone is talking about, or just to kind of get the idea a little bit better. Because if I'm just yapping into the void, essentially, I feel like people don't really get it that well. So yeah, that was kind of the reason why I decided not to post it. I mean, I could have done it, but I don't know, bro. It would have been like a lot of editing work still for the audio to like get it nice. In my opinion, nice. And then for like diminishing returns, it's like my views are already tanked because of the strike, and then the content will also take a nosedive because of that. Is it really worth my time? Not really. So I figured the chapter comes out tomorrow. I have not seen any leaks. I'm very against leaks for Kagurabachi. So I figured I could still like just stream my thoughts on the last chapter now, and we could talk about it as I play through this game. So yeah, well, yo Tiberius, what's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream, bro. I'm in Kagurabachi Discord right now. So if you want to join the VC, you can. But yeah, you don't have to. Don't feel like you need to, because I know you're a busy man. But yeah, the game picks up, says, welcome to my realm, located beyond both time and space. It is well that thou art here. So this is Arceus speaking. I am that which humans call Arceus. Now I wish to know thine appearance. Alright, so from here on out, I'm not gonna read the text out loud. You can just read it if it's on screen. I'm gonna go with Dawn from the anime. But yeah, I got this. I didn't buy this game. I lent it from a friend. He already finished playing it. Oh, Tiberius, you're gonna join? Cool. Dawn. But yeah, I had like, I'm just gonna read like my thoughts on the chapter, because I had the script, of course, which I recorded. So yeah, that's actually a pretty good guide that I can just read out loud as, you know, I do the stream. Cause yeah, at least that way I won't like forget what I wanted to say, and I can still get my thoughts out there before the chapter comes out. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, one more thing that I wanted to say was, the thing is, Shueisha is kind of on the lookout for content creators who make content about their manga, and especially so for Kagurabachi right now. And it seems like they're doing weekly sweeps on the Monday/Tuesday. And that's kind of gonna affect most Kagurabachi creators. It's kind of annoying because you will win the legal strike if you fight it, but it's like, oh my god, then you have to wait 10 days for a pretty stupid strike to get lifted. And once it's active, you can't really do much. I mean, you can, but it's like so yeah, going forward, if I ever get like more strikes, I might just go like the route of doing it podcast style with no panels for that 1 week, and then as soon as like all my strikes get lifted, I go back to using manga panels. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Ooh, look at that. It is Arceus. It's a beautiful cutscene. And here we're getting transported back in time and space. Okay, cool. I'm gonna wait until Tiberius gets here before I get like into the actual like meat and potatoes of the chapter that I wanted to discuss. So for now, we'll just play the game a little bit. And if anyone has like questions or anything about the chapter or any chapter or any theory or anything, let me know, because I'll always be able to answer a question. Oh, you'll be here in 5 minutes, all right? But that gives me some time to play. You give me quite the shock from this guy like that. See Mount Coronet in the background. Something of a professor, okay? So the reason why I wanted to play this game is mostly because Legend ZA is coming out, and that's also a Legends game. And I want to buy it and play it eventually, of course. I know it's not going to be exactly like this, but I figured playing this game would kind of get me acquainted with that style of Pokemon game. Oh, the Arceus phone. Yeah, I figured it would kind of get me acquainted with that style of game. And Yeah. Message appeared on screen. I bestow upon thee this arc phone, and thy mission seek out all Pokemon. Okay. Which starter should I pick? I haven't even thought about that, honestly. Rowlet. He has like the red form in this game, I think. Cyndaquil is like he has like a ghostly form. And Samurott has... Don't remember what Hisuian Samurott looks like. All the more reason to play it now, I guess. $50 balls, nice. Yo. What is up? I'm doing alright. How about you yourself? Alright, alright. How's your day been? No. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Nice to relax. Hold down ZR. Yeah, so I was just kind of explaining that I got the copyright strike for the last Kagurabachi review that I did, and I was kind of debating how I should like go forward from here, because if you get a strike on your channel, what happens is that your views tank. Right. And I don't know, I'm like, should I then... Right. I'm gonna catch this guy. Did you? Oh, damn. Oh. Yeah, dude, they get everyone. It's really annoying. And so I'm like kind of debating how should I go forward from here, because what I can do is I can do like chapter reviews similar to how you do the Hishaku Hideout, which is like podcast format. Right. Exactly. So I can either do that, or I just wait it out until the strike disappears, and then I like start over and just go again. But then what I will end up with is like content gaps, and that's, I don't know, I feel like that's just as annoying. And the other option that I had was anytime that I do have a strike, I do the podcast style. When I don't have a strike, then I go back to normal content. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's because what do you guys aim for? Like an hour? 40 minutes? What do you guys aim for? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Yeah, because I saw the last week's episode. You guys wrapped that up pretty quickly. Because I remembered looking in your server and I think it was like 10 minutes past the next hour after the chapter release. You guys were already done. I was like, whoa, you guys work fast. That was pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. Ah, preamble. Right. Yeah, because you've already discussed it and then you know what the other is gonna say. Ah, right. Right. You guys use bullet points still? Hmm. Right. Hmm. Yeah, he's just moving it along. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. No. No. Okay, okay. Oh, that blows. But yeah, I'm really against that like leak culture because it doesn't help. It doesn't help like the how do I say it, like people's understanding of a series, but also people's enjoyment. Because if it's like a Gojo versus Sukuna thing where it's just like fighting, 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 it's like okay, whatever. But when it comes to actual narrative, when it comes to intricacies in like the power system, people will make assumptions and then run with those assumptions for years. Bro, I remember when the world cutting slash happened in JJK, people were calling that strong cleave for like I would say a good 15 months. Even though the official translation came out like 5 days after the leaks. Or not 5 days, like 3 days after the leaks. No, what Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. So there was a 4-day gap, but in that 4-day gap, more people had memorized the term strong cleave, even though it's not even a cleave, it's a dismantle. So, right. Eh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 No, that's exactly it. So, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the league culture. And I think league culture has become so ingrained with JJK that I don't think anyone can stop it anymore. But I hope. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't think anyone could have stopped that at anymore, nor for like Mojo because that's an extension of JJK. But I hope and pray really that Kagurabachi stays tame and that the elite culture does not like become huge as it was for like JJK, because it will just destroy people's enjoyment of the series over time. Maybe not initially, but as more stuff happens, it will get worse and worse. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. No, exactly that. Yeah. So, yeah. But right, dude, I was just gonna start talking about it, but dude, one of the first things that I would have said in my review had I made it was that I think Yura is genuinely an all-timer villain in the making. And like the more I see of him, the more I feel like I need his backstory and or motivation. Because it's like, what even is Yura's motivation? Because this guy thinks that he has the ability to have more mental fortitude than Kiora. So what is driving him to put his life on the line like this? Like, he's clearly not in it for like the fun of the game or like the thrill of battle like Hokuto and Kuguri. And despite knowing all the risks, this guy has zero hesitation to potentially sacrifice his entire life just for the mission. Because we don't know if he could stop the Magatsumi mode now that it's like fully active. Like before he was just using like bursts of power, and now he's like really using it, you know? So he's putting his life on the line. Right. Yeah. Oh, let me check. Oh, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. I like this. All right. Well, right. Yeah, because I know for some characters it might be easier to convince them than others. Because like Hirohiko, I believe that Yura, the way how it's like described is that, right, he took him in early on and kind of molded him to become the way that he is. Oh, yeah. But yeah. So I think, I don't know, I would like to see his motivation and I don't know what just drives him, and maybe he's not giving away that info yet because that's a later plot twist that he wants to do down the line, Hokuzono. Potentially him being royal family. But yeah. Right. Oh, I could see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed. Potentially. Maybe. I'm not too sure on like the power scaling. Not too sure on that, but yeah, I think they're all in the same realm. Ah, yeah. I could see that. Dude, for real, bro. Yeah. So the next thing, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, is that no, we did not actually get the traitor reveal in this chapter, because I saw a lot of people in the comments from my live reaction live stream saying that this was the traitor reveal, but the thing is that we only really get Ichiki's perspective on it and like his own suspicions, but nothing is actually concrete yet. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like people were taking it a little too, yeah, a little too much at face value. Like, right, right. Mm-hmm. Bro, for real, dude. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to discuss Yura as he currently stands in the story. So he's not necessarily the manipulator archetype, but he is a planner. And to be able to pull off the things that he did, he needed backup plans on top of backup plans. Like, you gotta imagine he didn't even anticipate Uraha still being alive. And nonetheless, this guy is still cool as a cucumber, right? Right. And yeah, exactly, right? And so even with things like Hiruhiko's initial attack on the Sanso, his plans were so well planned out that the result of Hiruhiko's mission genuinely didn't even matter. Like, this guy was playing 4D chess, while the Kaminabi side was barely able to react to like turn-based combat. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hello? Oh, I just cut out. Mm-hmm. Oh. No, I don't either. Because, again, to come back to how much of a planner he is, like, this guy had... It was revealed this chapter that he had implanted his own spirit energy into the blade, and he had so many plans running simultaneously that the chances that someone would actually stop him in advance were super slim. So he did what he needed to do, and it allowed for him to have his moment now. Because if someone realized in advance that the Magatsumi was essentially a bomb in the building, they could have just removed the sword, like isolated it in a different location, you know? Because why would you keep the sword and the sword master in the same building? It doesn't make sense. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, next point was like Yuta reveals the truth behind the purpose of the submitting Magatsumi to the Rakuzaichi. So basically he had fully anticipated things going badly, and he had anticipated Kyora needing to wield the weapon, and in fact he wanted this so that he could see who was really in control of the blade. And his conclusion is that even with astronomical mental fortitude, it's still paramount to suicide. And despite that, he still saw it as a power worth investing into nonetheless. What do you make of that? I'm saying, bro. Yeah. Dude, for real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He calls it the death card and the death match. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So, as I was saying, like how using the power of Magatsumi is kind of paramount to suicide, we see the fruits of him wanting to invest in it nonetheless in this chapter, where he gets his Magatsumi mode. We don't have like an official name for the state of power or transformation, whatever you want to call it, but I'm just calling it Magatsumi mode for now. And he does this by tapping into his own spirit energy that resides within the blade while wanting to wield its power. And now normally this wouldn't be possible, but like we learned in the Ragazaichi arc, Magatsumi is so powerful that no problem. It's so powerful that it can ignore eternal contracts. And the fact that both Kyora and Yura could have their spirit energy in the blade at the same time confirms that the Sword Master might be able to take over multiple people at once. Have you ever thought of that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me like 2 seconds real quick, I gotta fix something. Right. Should be terrible now. My bad, Alphobi. I didn't realize I had that part of the stream muted. catch a Bidoof, a Starly, and a Shinx.
Alright. My bad, bro.
No, you're good, you're good. I had a little technical difficulty, but we're back on track.
Yeah, man, but
But
Kagurabachi's so good, dude.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, dude. Let's see for my notes. Okay. Yuta needing to test out who's in control essentially confirms that Yuta and the Swordmaster are in fact not in cahoots, like I was
Thank
thinking
God.
for the last, I don't know, 2-3 months. And
All of us.
yeah. And honestly, I agree with your sentiment. This is something that I was thinking for a really long time, and it was disproven in this chapter, and I'm so glad. Because some people even went like a step further, thinking that Yuta was merely a puppet, or like an extension of the Swordmaster's will. I'm so glad that's not the case, bro, because it allows Yuta to like solidly stand on his own as a villain. You know what I mean?
Facts.
He's
Oh, yeah,
just like
because
his
me
own
and Dice,
character.
I literally told Dice, I was like, Dice, brother, what are we gonna do if it turns out that Yura is just like a manipulated like pawn or like a creation somehow, or just a mindless drone following this Swordmaster's plan or whatever?
Yeah.
We've been glazing the shit out of Yura. Dice, what I was like, are we gonna change our name? Because the Hishaku got a bad record, and the leader is like a zombie. My bad, my dog's tripping.
No, you're good. You're good.
Um, I was like, we was getting worried for a second, man, like genuinely, because he likes Hirohiko, so we know how that goes.
Oh
Hirohiko's
yeah.
like the memeable character, but
Right.
by the way, I think the Swordmasters like the usage of the Mangatsumi and like this remote activation of like this, getting a proxy that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think here, if Samura, I DM'd you about like the possibility Samura, teleporting other people with
Mm-hmm.
his, using his feathers. So if he does bring like just say anybody that's like touching him, he can do that. Like Goku's instant transmission
Oh
essentially, but with
yeah.
feathers.
Oh yeah.
So
For
if
sure.
if he brings that whole group with him to because if he leaves them alone, that's also not safe because Kaguri,
Oh
you
right.
know, so he's gonna have to bring at least Iori, unless they're gonna make a pit stop and drop him off, and
Right.
maybe that's what's taking him so long to get there. Like that could be the case where he just has his own like little hideout or something, or the Masumi. They drop the kids off there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go to the hideout headquarters. But if he brings them to headquarters with Hirohiko's sword in hand,
Oh.
man, like we don't know what that third ability is, and if he can somehow like remote activate his third ability, and
Yeah.
he at the worst possible time, even if he's not strong, just the fact of him activating it like by remote activation far away, and it gives whoever there, because there's several Hishaku members still there. He gives one of them a chance to sneak Samura or Iori, take Iori, but Zono plays with that. Who's because they all go with him. That's a lot of people that they have to worry about.
Yeah. That's
So
actually a good point. If they do
Samura
bring
though,
everyone like back with them, I think that would be kind of stupid. But I don't know.
yeah, unless they just say Yura would know all like because the Masumi. I mean, obviously the Masumi have to have like hideouts or something like that. They're like ninja for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
So and it's not like the Hishaku ever went to go deal with them, or not that they maybe need to, but it would make sense for them to. It's easy enough for Samur just to pop over there and drop them off real quick. You know,
Oh yeah.
like with his owl, drop the feathers down, pop over there, and then all right, Chihiro, just me and you are going to headquarters. Masumi stay here with the kids. I mean, now don't get me wrong though. the we know that Chihiro is like physically healed,
Mhm.
and you know, like maybe his exhaustion, but we don't know like what their spirit energy reserves look like.
Yeah, true.
You know that's the thing, but they are both of them together. That's a dog ass tag team.
Mhm. Yeah,
Out like he
agreed.
only has certain uses. He can still just Aka Samura's feathers while they're teaming up.
Yeah, true.
And his Suzaku flames, like that's the thing, is that is like the duo, like just the way their swords work and how Chihiro's is more like adaptable and man, because it has healing, they have like sensory, they could feel the displacement of fish or feathers. But I don't know. What do you think's gonna happen when they hit the scene?
Um, I think they have to save Uruha and Natsuki. And before I get into that specifically, I think it's like a perfect way to bring up my next point, which is like in terms of Yura's Magatsumi mode. What I think is happening here is that he does not have much time before the Swordmaster takes over. So that means that the Hishaku invasion inherently relies on them being able to get to the Swordmaster and kill him before Yura dies. Because, like, remember the name of this arc? It's like the Sword Bearer Assassination arc. And how do we kill all the Sword Bearers at once? By getting rid of the Swordmaster. Do I actually think that all of them are gonna die in this arc? No, because Samurai could always do his little Suzaku plan and save the others. But the thing that seems a little counterintuitive about killing the Swordmaster right away is that him dying would also mean that Hiruhiko dies, and Hiruhiko is one of their teammates because he's an enchanted blade bearer right now. Because he has a
Yura might
Kumiyuri.
take Yura might make that call though, because that's like the ultimate like that's everything. That's a hurdle for him to use Magatsumi.
Yeah, it is, and I don't
He
know,
might make that
it's
gamble.
kind of weird, and I
I
don't
see what you
feel
mean
like
though.
Hiruhiko would like die right now. I don't know. I feel like it's too
Yeah, I mean, I think
soon.
Samura's gonna die, and that's gonna kind of be like the self-serving, like to the titular arc name. You know,
Mm,
the fact that he wanted to kill the sword bearers, and then you know the Suzaku plan.
yeah,
You know, but he's not. You know, now things have changed,
because
and
I
I
think
think that it's he's just gonna get killed, and you know that's gonna be you
hmm,
know that'll be that.
he has been running Owl for like a really long time, and then fought Hiruhiko and Chihiro and the zombies, and healed himself and his scars and his eyesight.
He died.
He,
He did die
yeah,
once.
and then he also healed the building, and he healed all
Yeah,
the
Bob the
surroundings. He
Builder.
healed his blade. Dude, I don't know. This guy might be running out of spare energy soon. But
Yo, you want to know what
oh,
I want to bring up?
what?
The one thing about when Kiora was getting like compelled by the Sword Saint
Hmm.
is he was already dying. He already had a fatal wound when he took the Magatsumi, and he
Oh.
now Yura, yeah, he's kind of winded, but he's not like he has no lethal blows. You know, he's in good condition.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that might help him last a little longer than Kiora. And he also, I think he's
Oh.
been like, he also has been, you know, I believe he's been submitting himself to like, kind of like playing, like tiptoeing on the line of when to activate it. Like when
Yeah.
his eyes go black. Like, I think when he like clashes with Uraha and or looks at the old man, he's kind of like tiptoeing on the activation and like letting his brain kind of like feel that like compelled like uh, pull from Sword Saint.
Yeah.
Maybe trying
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
expose himself to it to get a bit of you know, get used to it, a little build up a little resistance. So I think Yura put himself in the best possible position that he could, given like you know whatever it if his plan is like just to get rid of the Sword Saint or whatever. Like you said, they're in a race against time.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's why Bingo and Urin, um, you know they're like go and do their thing,
Yeah.
which I mean, they're about to kill. I mean, it's so stupid. Do they really think like those two, like what is it? One of the Boruto characters. The guy looks like with the visor, Natsuki's homie that pulled up to go get Natsuki. Him and some like fodder-looking Kaminabi member was like pulling up on Pishaku. The Hishaku are like literally 10 elite sorcerers. Do you think 2 Kaminabi members like that aren't elite captains necessarily? Like you think they're gonna be able to take out Hishaku, those 2? No,
No.
those
No.
dudes are gonna get fucking wiped.
Agreed.
And then wannabe Ryu Ishigori from the Edo period with his comb and his top knot. Like Uran's about to just freeze them up and Bingo's gonna just eat them.
Yeah. Dude, and a next thing for like the power scalers out there, Yura's Magatsumi mode is like not an upskill for the strongest Hishaku member, because the Magatsumi mode is not really something that Yura normally has access to. And I think when Yura said that the kid was the strongest, he just meant them as like sorcerers, not including any potential influence of an enchanted blade, because obviously Hiruhiko is, you know, like strength-wise at the top because of the enchanted blade. So
Yeah.
I think there's that.
Yeah, I think that's more of kind of like because when Yura was talking about that, he was saying that like, like, because the kid has like a patch on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that like he might just be the type to like really throw himself into battle, like risk everything.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of like a grinder, and he's just saying you went through all those battles and you're still alive. Like he's just kind of gassing him up a bit, saying that like you're not meant to die. You're the strongest. You always survive. Like kind of just playing on his like young, like kind of finessing him a bit, gaslighting him. Who knows? And maybe this curse technique, he needs like confidence in himself or some shit like Takabo.
Oh.
I mean, that's a very, very headcanon-y wild out there. But, that's the thing. I really think the Kaminabi's pretty stupid. Like, they can't summon up more soldiers than just 2 per, like, Hishaku member.
I don't know about that. I think they're just kind of disorganized at the moment because of the raid.
I mean, to be fair, one thing I will say that's good for the Kaminabi, they do place like their members, like their staff and all that. They do place their lives somewhat important. Telling them like don't engage.
Yeah.
Just hide. It's cool. No, you don't need to try and stop them. A lot of times we just see those like wannabe like no-name guards. Try and stop the surveillance. The people breaking in or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just get one shot. So at least they were like have the decency to tell them, oh, it's code rat or whatever. Don't that means y'all do not engage. So I thought that was at least a little something nice for Kaminabi.
True. Okay. Moving on to the next point. We didn't actually get a Hakuri possession in this chapter like a lot of people were afraid of. And I thought he was gonna get blackmailed. That's what I thought personally, but it seems like neither option will be happening for now, thankfully.
Oh, yeah, Hakuri, he's something that he's like a huge question mark in the series, because it was he was like, oh, just a cute like weak friend that's trying his best. He'll have like some clutch moments with his like bravery or whatever. But then he levels way the fuck up against Soya, and you're like, oh, this kid's a dog. he's a problem if he just like can learn a bit. And then he gets nerfed, right?
Yeah.
Or he's like on his way to getting nerfed, but we see it like Hokuzono's kind of letting us know, hey, don't get too used to this kid being this crazy. Like I'm gonna nerf him, and now we see the nerf. I'm interested in seeing like how that goes like forward. Are any of the, because he doesn't really have like an emergency door. The emergency door was like passed down the Sazanami family through like the mask, which we know like that is destroyed now. So like Hakuri doesn't really have his own like escape emergency exit. So if he dies with an enchanted blade in his storehouse, that that sucks. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a good way to get rid of him, to be honest.
Oh, true.
Because then it would
Dude.
just cease to exist.
I never thought of it like that, but yeah, that like could. Well, then again, maybe it won't be destroyed. Maybe it'll just be stuck in the dimension for like the foreseeable future. But I do remember that Hakuri was able to tap into Kyora's version because it's just like it has like a set coordinate, and as long as you know the coordinates, you can just get in. And the coordinates are obviously something that only Akuri or like the other bearer of the storehouse would know. But I don't know.
So it still could be alive.
Yeah, I feel like you could at some point guess the coordinates, like just brute force it.
Oh, can you imagine how much it would suck? Like towards the end, Soya comes back and he has the mask on, and like we had like say most of the swords in the storehouse, and he manages to break in, and like just Hakuri's like now like low IQ over usage of his brain. He just can't
Yeah.
stop him, and then that's how the Hishaku get a late member and they get the swords back. That would suck.
Dude,
God, I hope Soya's dead.
you know what Alphobi said in the chat? He said, after the story, like the entire story, they're gonna use Hakuri to get rid of N10 by just storing it in the storehouse. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I could see that because I mean, like I said, it's almost if he dies of old age, the chances of someone having a like pocket dimension sorcery that is like fundamentally or the same or similar to where it can be like the storehouse can be accessed to it. It's that like saying if they do it, like that space still exists, like they're still out there just in some subspace that has to be accessed by another like space-time sorcery. The chances of someone having that sorcery seems as very rare. You know what I mean? Because the Sazanami are like touted as like this like special family of sorcery, like the traditionalist, not with the Kaminabi.
Yeah.
And they're praised for that ability, so that would definitely be, even if Hakuri dies of old age, he could just keep them things in there. He's not one to go against Chihiro.
True.
That, but there's, I'm wondering, because we saw like, do you think what do you think Chihiro's chances of being able to actually break the Magatsumi? Like, just say, I mean, I know it's low right now in the current the current story, but say, what if you had to give it a percent? How close do you think he is to breaking it?
60%.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
Yeah. I think with the way how he's developing Kudo, it seems like it's a near unblockable attack. Because I was trying to power scale Chihiro for a little bit, and what I realized is that no one outside of Enchanted Blade Bearers have ever stopped Kudo. It always is like a clean cut. Always. And every time that someone either blocks it or it's not like a clean cut, it's because he wasn't using Kuro. And I think he's just gonna advance that technique more and more and more. And if he wants to end the Enchanted Blades, he will be able to do so, I think.
Yeah, I think Chihiro's probably about 40%, maybe 35, like around that. Because the thing is, I don't think Chihiro's gonna pick up any other like sword styles. I mean, he
Really?
could, which would, I don't think it's about him becoming a swordsman. Like I think he learned the sword, like a sword style. He became a master of it, essentially. So that way he could get closer to the. Yeah, not really a like not once. Oh, my bad. But 1 second.
All right. I don't think he's necessarily a master.
Sorry, that was my girl.
At his strongest, using Nishiki Suzaku to amp his attack could barely crack Tobi Mune. Yeah, but it's like that's him now, and he was evolving in that fight, and he's gonna have so much more fights until he fights the Magatsumi. So by that point in time, he will be able to eventually do it, and I think it's more than likely that he is gonna be able to do it than not.
See, I'm thinking, the way I look at it is, Chihiro, this whole arc was like Chihiro getting his like his swordsmanship kind of, you know, comparable, or you know, he definitely advanced.
Right.
And that was, you know, necessary, like a prerequisite almost for getting closer, you know, in touch with the blade, synchronizing deeper. So now that he's picked up a sword style, I think going forward, it's now like he's going back to his enchanted blade game of like leveling up his you know, move set or his toolkit, and just trying to like synchronize deeper with Enten.
Yeah, fair.
You know, because also he's gonna leave this arc with a very different like perspective on the enchanted blades, no matter how this arc ends, just based off what's happened. So, you know, I think that's gonna play into him like just becoming one with Enten.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know my theory is like, I think when he fully like understands the blade and the closest, he taps into like the you know, the strongest sense of the true realm.
Yeah.
I think that's like, he might get like a vision of Kunishige, like when he is fighting his like last battle, kind of like, you know, Minato popping up for Naruto when he needed him most. Same with Kushina. I do think. Oh yeah, that's right. I said that was my theory on that Alonzo stream. But you know, I think, you know, he has a long way, like, because Suzaku can do a lot, and we still haven't even seen the other two swords.
Right.
So he could just have like this staple of, you know, like never. He's pulling kind of like Yuta. He's just pulling out never-ending like abilities. You know, because we still don't know how Akka works either. You know,
he's gonna evolve it. I think.
Yeah,
I think the end.
And that's
game...
the thing. The True Realm could play big, because we did not expect Chihiro to be able to swap places with fish.
Right. So I think the end game for Akka is that if he copies something once, he'll always be able to use it. No like limits to it, you know? I think that's kind of where it's going.
That's probably like, if Hokuzono wanted to be like safe, he would make it that. You know, he's not gonna try and like play any games or be loose with like what Suzaku can do, or he just might not say exactly what Suzaku's capable of. You know, we just kind of see it happen.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna show us, not tell us, because if he gives it like a certain like, oh, it's there's a certain like amount of like you know, there's a quantity that he can use this. I don't know, or it depends on how much output he uses. You know, with the flame bone, when he used flame bone against Kiora, that he might have used up all, like from the little bit he was able to absorb, or actually he was able to absorb a lot of it. It was just so strong that Akka couldn't get all of it.
True.
So we know he got a full dose of like absorbing that.
Yep.
You know, it'll be interesting. It depends on how much he absorbs, or it'd probably be best if he just didn't like actually list it out, or, you know, say like the definition of, you know, unless it's like what you're talking about, where you just can use it, just not as much of an output as the original user.
I mean, either or could work. I think it's fine either way, as long as he like develops the ability, then I'll be fine. And we did see that he did develop it in this arc, so I think everything will come in due time. You can't expect him to be at like the peak of the verse right now, because we're still pretty early into the series, or at least maybe midpoint. I don't know, but we're not near the end yet, is what I'm trying to say.
The one thing that I worry about with the whole, what I don't want for Akka is to be one of those things that, you know, if he can use it, you know, at any time, as long as he absorbs it, where there's like notable moments where the abilities that he did absorb would have played out differently, or he could have ended something, you know what I mean? And then just sometimes he doesn't use it, and then there's other times when he does use it, after that moment, where like Hokuzono kind of not necessarily forgets about it, but he just kind of whips it out when he wants to whip it out, type of thing.
Right.
That's what I worry about. They'd be like, oh, why didn't you just use that in that moment? It would have made total sense. And those conversations they just get tiresome to hear after a
Yeah,
while.
they do.
Even if it's
Unfortunately.
true, it's just like just accept it for just it is what it is in the story.
Yeah.
Either you like it or you don't.
No, I agree. Although we said that the next arc could be like a training arc with Itsuo Shirakai, and they're gonna be in the mountains with like Kiri and whatnot. But honestly, I think that's more of an end game thing. Because you were saying that you don't expect Chihiro to get the sword styles. I think it's quite the opposite. I think he is going to get most of the sword styles, and mastering them is going to be a late game thing, to where mastering them will truly allow him to like level up his sword play, which will level up his true realm and whatnot, and that's going to be the key to beating Magatsumi. I think he's supposed to become more versatile now and not necessarily more mastered. Because if he's mastered it to the level of like Samura, then that would immediately put him on like the potential level of Samura, And then it's like, okay, you have a Samura tier character running around as the main character.
He's like top 2 in the verse.
Right. And I don't know. I don't see that happening. So
yeah, I feel you. Like building his stable. Like I think I'm kind of more of like a Chihiro purist in a sense, where his thing was like he always wanted to be a sword maker, and like obviously he's a swordsman, true, and through and through he's a swordsman.
yeah.
But I think that Hokuzono just like I said with the Enchanted Blades, I think he wants to get back to that, and it's going to be more about just him trying to get in touch or synchronize deeper. But with Itsuo's training, he would still be able to like fully master White Purity style.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He be like in your chat, your boy Alphobe or whatever. He was sorry if I mispronounced that, brother. But he was talking about Chihiro using Kuro like basically a projectile White Purity style, like like a dismantle. He's like slinging black slash dismantles, and then he could still swap places with his fish and deliver like a physical White Purity style. When you try to, that would be a nasty combo.
Agreed.
Like imagine having to block a Kuro slash coming in front of you, but then Chihiro's actual real self swap places with his fish on side of you, and then he's White Purity style and for real.
Oh, that's
Suzaku
crazy.
amped, Nishiki amped. Like you're like, what the fuck? Chill out.
Yeah, that's crazy. How do we think Hirohiko's gonna come back and get his blade back? I don't know. There's like a multitude of ways that he could. I think Tiberius outlined one possibility just now, where it's like, if the entire Samura squad, including the Masumi, go to the Kaminabi HQ, and the building like either blows up or there's too much chaos or whatnot, they could just steal the blade back. There's also the idea of like, if Chihiro and Samura go alone, then the Masumi are isolated, which would leave them open to getting attacked by Kuguri and Toto, and they should be able to hold their own and get the blade. There's
Remote activation from
yeah,
Hirohiko,
remote
like that third
activation.
ability.
We know that
Because we
Hirohiko did
now,
waste all his spirit energy when he did his last attack, but in this chapter we learn that someone else can pour their energy into a blade as well. So, there are plenty of options on the table, honestly.
yeah, and those statements like that. I take those statements at face value. Like oh, I only got this much energy, or I'm this % power. And Shonen Jump, I take those at face value, because if the writing dictates that maybe Hokuzono needs to, he has a few more things he wants to flush out before the fight ends or whatever, that person's going to stay in the fight longer or do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
But if his third ability is just something that doesn't like it can be remote activated just by design, or by concept, I should say, we just don't know because the the abilities of the enchanted blades are vast. Like Samura's got birds, but that motherfucker's badass.
Yep.
Like you just never know if Samura died. Like he literally died and still revived himself. Even though when you die, you should lose connection to your enchanted blade. And if you die, you shouldn't be able to like remote activate Suzaku. So I was like, man, that kind of like how Uraha described the one where he got revived and he was thinking in his head about some shit. Because he was talking about, I think, a siege or something like that, and his description was like, man, maybe Samura like reviving himself from the dead that's kind of like far-fetched, but because you lose your connection to your sword when you die.
Yeah. No, that doesn't necessarily need to be far-fetched.
Like I don't think people will like accept that too much because they're like, oh well, before on his dying breath he enacted it, but like he still died. Like so connect. But I mean, maybe the flames stay on him and heal them. Either way, that we don't have to get. I don't have to get too deep. That was just one thing that I did question. But I do have a question for you that's kind of controversial.
All right.
So we see 2 chapters ago the infamous clash, the 4-way clash, fire ass panel. Now we know the talks have been about what was on Yura's back. Was that his sheath? Or like,
yeah.
I don't think it was his sheath. One, mostly because, well, for one, if that was his sheath, we see the fighters like literally right from where we left off, and Uraha's no longer holding it. And sure, he could have lost it in the clash, but 2, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, 2, even if that was his sheath, right? He has to bend his arm all the way back, and then like guard his like rear with it. Hokuto is coming down, and by the way, he doesn't have enough fingers for grip. So even if he's like just barely holding on to it, Hokuto's blade was barreling down on that dude's neck. Like that with the sheath in those circumstances, it's like it almost felt like that drawing was like kind of for the sake of cool to me. Once I like was thinking about it like that, I was like, man, it doesn't really make sense. Because he doesn't have the sheath directly after that. And if he can't hold on to it, he should still have extensive damage of some sort. But I mean, nothing happened to him. Like the clash kind of broke up, and then we know Natsuki pushed Yura through a wall. And I was, and then him and Hokuto like kind of he knocked or he was clashed with Yura, and then Hokuto got pushed through a wall by Natsuki or some shit.
Yeah.
I forget exactly how it went, but Uraha, clear as day, doesn't have his sheath in the very next panel.
I think
So,
it
I mean,
could
I
be
guess
like he's hiding his sheath in his clothes, if that makes sense. Because Chihiro does the same.
And the thing is, like, right when the clash happens, you see how like the fighters are like how far away they're standing. I'm sure it's meant to be the sheath. I don't necessarily think that it makes the most sense. Just in terms of like what the clash conveyed and like the quality of fighters in it. But it's not enough to ruin a story or anything like that. It was just something I wanted to get your opinion on.
Oh yeah. Okay. My next point of interest was we got more Kaminabi leader name drops, and I gotta say it actually feels like Hokuzono heard our complaints about a lack of name drops, and that he's trying to drop a few names per chapter now. I feel
he's like, here, Urin, Bingo, Kozen, or
Kasen,
and what Yatsuru,
yeah. So the main leader
that's
is called
Kamunabe right there. Kamunabe.
Oh my god. So the main leader is called Kasen, and his second in command is Yatsuru. And Yatsuru holds the same rank as Ichiki, which is assistant leader. That's the rank. So they're both essentially second in command. And Azumi tells us that they're distinguishable by their white robes. And I never actually realized that Yatsuru wore the white robes as well. So I went back to chapter 46 to double check, and yeah, she does in fact wear the white robes. It's just that they're not on her shoulders, so they're a little bit harder to see. Um, and since I'm such a sucker for like the little details and whatnot, I also took a look at the other council members to see if they wore anything similar. And I couldn't help but finally notice the polka dot motif for the council members who have more authority than others. So then I looked at the other members, and you can tell that the mustache guy also has the polka dots thing going on. And so does that mean that they are sitting in their level of authority from Kasen spanning outwards on each side? I don't know. But it's weird how he's the only one who has like a similar thing going on from like the main three. I don't get why the mustache guy also has like the robes, but then he does it on his scarf. I don't know. I don't have a
Yeah.
visual for you guys, but
No, I know
chapter
what you're talking about.
chapter 46, just double check it. It's really weird.
Yo, I did a video like "Don't Trust Kaminari Yoda," a while back, a couple
I
months
love that
ago.
video. Yeah.
In that video, I didn't have it in, but when I was like looking at everything, I decided to Google like Japanese corporate seating charts for like business meetings.
Okay.
Because it did in fact say like because there's different formations depending on the room, depending on the shape of the desk,
Uh-huh.
the way that they're sitting. Uh, like I wish I would have kept it in the video now, but back then I felt like, oh, that's a little too much. Like that's a little in too deep. Then so I didn't keep it
Mm.
in. But it did say that the person on the left and right hold like the next top two positions, and then from there forward, it was like more about the position that they hold, not necessarily in terms of like hierarchy, but just the type of position it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I was wondering if like things like that mattered, because I think about like comics or anything. It's always got some influence of like where it's from, obviously, because
True.
that's their like life. So I tried to. That was like the one time that I've like stepped outside of manga for like some kind of research thing that actually paid off.
Yeah.
I just didn't keep it in, but it. I like Dice brought up a good point, about seeing these people fight, but they don't necessarily have to fight because we know that they praise like sorcery above all. Like we even see how Azami is, he's very, he speaks very highly of the top three. Like,
True.
he's a very respectable dude, and just kind of glazes them. Even though Azami's like stature and like pedigree as a fighter is like unparalleled in that organization, and even he's like, he doesn't have that kind of like that hubris that he's the
Right.
strongest fighter or whatever. Even though we know Tsuyuki was touted as the strongest fighter in the Kawanabe.
Yeah, I know about that statement, but I think that that statement just refers to the members, not necessarily the leaders. But yeah, I don't know. It could be that
Azami's
it is.
gotta be a dog, bro.
True.
I really want to see Azami go like all out.
We're gonna get to see it soon, cause he's at the bottom now, right?
Yeah. Oh, the I don't know where that ceiling room is compared to like how much deeper the sword Saint is.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because we know the sword Saint's way down there.
Yeah.
I wonder how many like how many levels underground, because they were on like floor 6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Because Micah makes these like per chapter, he does a map of the Kaminabi HQ and where everyone is in that HQ. And what it seemed like Mike interpreted was that they should all be around the same level as Swordmaster right now. I don't think that's the case because Swordmaster was pretty
Can't be.
deep. He's pretty
Yeah,
deep
because
in.
even on the map, you see there's like a way longer tunnel that goes like past the bottom of the page.
Right.
Like we don't even get to see like the actual like space. We just see the tube, the tube that goes down. Like I agree that they're probably on the lowest level that the elevator works, but there's definitely a different way that you have to go down. Because we also know that Kaminabi Head went down there in like the monitoring room
Mm-hmm.
to check on the uh the Sword Saint. Like I'm wondering what was up with that. I thought that and in fact I think it was the dude that looks like the teacher from Danny Phantom.
Right.
The one
Right.
that was like saying, "Oh, he's handsome like Kunishige."
Yeah.
Like that's I would like to see exactly how deep that thing is. Like, oh, it's 20 floors deep, and we're only like the last accessible floor by normal means.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would like that too. That's not bad, actually. It's a pretty good way of scaling the building.
Yeah, because like, I mean, they're pretty stupid for having like all this happening, knowing that the Hishaku want them
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
have it. It's almost worth it to like not reseal that thing and just go store that bitch somewhere else. Like finesse
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
Hishaku, make the Hishaku think it's there, but then when it get there, it's like a duplicate.
I
I
could
mean, of
see
course,
that.
that even has that problem even has plans. But I mean, we know now that that motherfucker's real.
True. But
So let me ask you, how many people, important characters, do you think are gonna die, if
this arc.
any? Yeah, like just a guesstimate. I won't read through it. I'm thinking two.
Do you think important characters like important to the narrative or important to like structural?
I would I would call like the Masumi important. I would call all the Hishaku important. Yori. Like
Hmm.
I wouldn't call all the Kaminabi. I wouldn't call all the Kaminabi heads important. Because like there's that big old dude that we just have like no kind of characterization. I mean, Kudo
Right.
already died, but we didn't really know much about him until he died.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking there's gonna be two important characters or two notable characters, I guess I should say.
I think Samura is dying, and I think uh let's see, Samura and hmm, I don't
Like,
know.
I agree. I think Samura. I think Natsuki probably,
Yeah.
and I think yeah, I have a feeling.
Okay.
Like I think
Okay.
maybe he might get his revenge. Maybe
Hmm.
he does end up taking out Hokuto somehow, or they take each other out, and it'd be kind of like a beautiful death.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
Yeah. That wouldn't
but
be
I
bad.
think I'd say three because I think a Hashaku member is gonna die, Samura, and Natsuki or someone in that like range of narrative importance. I'm gonna say three. I think.
Okay, three. I think a
I just
little
don't.
bit more can die towards the end because if it gets super chaotic, I think a
It could
lot of
just be a
eyes are gonna
mass
go. Yeah,
death.
yeah.
Like,
Especially because my theory is that the Kamina was gonna get toppled, and
mhm.
for that to happen, a lot of people need to die. Now, the real thing, like regarding your question, is that majority of these characters in the Kaminabi are not relevant to the narrative, at least for now, and thus it doesn't really matter too much if they die. Like from our perspective, obviously from the perspective of the story,
I
the
agree.
characters, it makes like it's like really deep. Like
Like the
Kudo's
top
death.
three in Azami or Izami, maybe you could like, make an argument, but other than that,
Yeah.
and Yuzaru's not even that important. Actually, no, fuck him. Like it's really just Azami in the top three. Like, or I would say, now that we got like the top three's names and all
Mm-hmm.
that, and just the position they hold, the Yasu not being there, I'm wondering where she's at. Because I mean, they're supposed to protect like the head guy or something. They're supposed to like be there with him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, all this suspicion that Ichiki put on them, it's just from his perspective. Like, for all we know, she could be like doing something really important right now. We just don't know.
True.
So
That's bad.
yeah. Anyways, my next point that I wanted to talk about was the title of the chapter. It's called The Second Arrow, and this refers to Yura's conversation that he had with the Pine Tree Sorcerer, and where he was discussing how to control Seiichi Samura. And I previously thought that yeah, I previously thought that him talking about firing a second arrow meant that he anticipated Samura's betrayal and that he was merely using the battle in Kyoto as a way to break into the Kaminabi headquarters without Samura interfering. But this chapter kind of recontextualizes what I thought the second arrow meant. So what I failed to understand in chapter 75 was that the two arrows refer to the ways to control Samura specifically, very specifically. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm like also playing the game at the same time. But yeah, it solely refers to the ways to control him, and one of the ways to do that was to make use of his daughter, right? You control his daughter, you control Samura's moves, because you can blackmail him. But the other way, aka the second way, aka the second arrow, is by simply forcing Samura's hand. And how do we force his hand? By overthrowing the Kaminabi. Because if you overthrow the Kaminabi, you overthrow the country. Then he has to make a move. Because if you overthrow the Kaminabi, then the Swordmaster is susceptible. If the Swordmaster is susceptible, then he is susceptible because he will die with the Swordmaster. And so will his friends, right? You can essentially force his hand. And I think that's more so what the second arrow was referring to. And Samura would then be forced to like use a Suzaku to potentially mitigate the damage, and in doing so would be left weak enough to eliminate him from the playing field. Or they also had like the pinky promise thing going on, so if Samura ever wants to find out who the traitor is, he would essentially be incentivized to keep Yura alive amidst the chaos. And maybe that's how Yura is like planning to keep Hiruhiko alive, or maybe that's how he's planning to keep himself alive. We don't know, but that's kind of what my thought process was about the second arrow.
One thing that strikes me as strange, how like now that Samura, is presumably coming into the fray with Chihiro, just about, I mean, literally 90% of the important players in Kagurabachi are going to be in the same place. We're really just missing like Heyuki, Shiba, and the other two sword bearers.
Yeah.
But everyone's in the same spot. The villain organization, the leader of the villain organization, the initiator to this whole bullshit, the sword, the traitor.
Yep.
And but like Hachaku is just chilling. He's kind of like play calling.
True.
And obviously he would get smoked by Chihiro or Samura, like for sure. But we know Yura's good at planning. We know that Yura is aware of Samura, joining, switching back to the good side, like that possibility. So he's made plans for that. He knows that they have to come. They're gonna come in through. They're going to come in through the top because Samura's an enemy now. I'm sure he doesn't have clearance to go in Kaminabi headquarters as easy as he used to. And Chihiro's like, not necessarily an ally either. So it's not like they can just walk into the barrier either.
I think they're going to be let in regardless because of...
I think Izaru's going to let him in personally.
Yeah, because it's like an emergency, so they kind of have to.
he's gonna hate doing it, but he's gonna do it. You know,
Yeah.
he's always gonna. I think
For
that
the
strong
sake of
sense
his
of
country.
justice. Yeah, and but the thing is, like, Hachaku's up there. I'm wondering if, like, Hachaku, we know he can kind of like get in and out of places really easily. Um, if he can he can plant seeds in people and stuff like that. We don't know, like, if he's gonna like be the either just try and stall them, like, not physically, because the way he fought Samura isn't gonna work no more.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
basically just try and distract them enough with like enough of the tree bullshit, and or just create a chaotic situation, maybe involve citizens, and get into a fight that's gonna, because those enchanted blades, if they're used in public, it's it could be devastating. Chihiro has mitigated a lot of that you know can't think of the word, but that other people getting involved, innocent
Oh yeah.
civilians. But now if Hachaku creates a scenario where they're gonna like they're just involved because of the situation now, they use that to try and like grab Iori, or seed her,
Oh.
like, because there's a reason why he's standing up there.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I mean, sure, he's like play calling. He got in touch with Hokuto and all that. Like, he served his purpose up there to some extent, but I don't think his role is finished.
No.
Like,
Agreed.
he's the one that I'd be worried about, like making the tricky last minute move. And that I'm just wondering, because he's like chilling right outside like a cafe. We see the tree stumps in the ground when they show where he's sitting. So he's not like far off from like the area that they breached, presumably. So with those coming in, and they have to come in from that entry point, because they can't just like use the elevator.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Hokuzono's even gonna like show that, or if it's just gonna happen where like Chihiro and Samur just pull up in the underground floor, and we just have to just assume how they got there,
I think it's gonna quickly flash.
like Hokuto almost. He just appeared.
Yeah. I don't know if they're just gonna appear. Maybe they're gonna initially just appear, and then we're gonna get the explanation of how they appear later. Kind of like Hokuto appears behind Hakuri, and then. Well, actually, no, we didn't get the explanation of how Hokuto got there, but.
I'm sure they teleported him in, because the barrier was still, got fixed. It was only down for like a split second.
Yeah, I talked about that in the video that got taken down, but it's actually a really weird situation, because if they did teleport him in, he would appear behind or like around them, and he didn't, because Uruha was fighting Yura, and he specifically wanted to fight Uruha. So then why did he end up like a floor lower than them? It doesn't really make too much sense to me. So I think the traitor might have had something to do with him being let in.
Okay.
But that's just me though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's like we can only speculate, because like you said,
Yeah.
we don't know. But I can definitely see like Chihiro and Samura like showing up, and then they're like, man, luckily Izuru was by, like, Izuru was aware of the situation and let us in, or some shit. He kind of directed us the quickest way here. It could just be handled like that, or who knows, maybe Hokuzono won't really speak on it too much. But I'm telling you, Tree Shaku, he is just like an outlier in the story, I feel like.
Right, he's suspicious.
Yura trusts him more than anybody, because we see him specifically talking with Hachaku numerous times, just them two.
Yep.
And like, I think that he might be, Hachaku might be the sus one, and because like the Magatsumi, like has like the flower motif, and all that, and he does like the trees, and that doesn't necessarily have to make a connection, but it's one of those things where if it does happen, people are going to be like, oh.
Also, his like weird eye that he has. People were saying,
he's not open.
That's why he wants revenge.
Yeah, or like, or if there's someone that's like a mindless drone or someone acting in the favor of the Sword Saint, like I think it would be him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He opens up his little crusty ass eye and it's got like the little rings around, and that's like his by birth. Whereas yours just borrowing his by proxy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker he's renting a Sharingan, ain't that crazy? Or a Renegon, a dark ass one.
Let's see, what were some more interesting points? Oh yeah, there were actually quite a few errors this chapter. So we had one error per person who works on the chapter. We had one error from Hokuzono, who is the creator, artist, author, illustrator.
Translation.
We had a translation error, and we had a typeset error. So from each of the 3 people who work on this, we had an error this week, which is funny that it happened all in one chapter, but also not that funny because, you know, the fans kind of
I personally think it's because of the consecutive color pages coming up. I think, you know, Hokuzono is now like, he's in, you know, almost 100 chapters. This is like, he's now getting into the point of, this is starting to turn into a long-running shonen.
Yeah.
You know, excuse me, like not saying it wasn't always, but you don't know like when a series just might like be over.
No, yeah, fair.
And we know those color pages have to be a bitch. You know, just like, especially like Hokuzono's color pages are always pretty elaborate. And, you know, I'm sure to like do all that, you know, he probably has multiple drafts of that, and that they have to like speed up the creation of the chapter then.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Because he has to finish the drafts, he has to do all this stuff while fitting in these other things. So he's maybe trying to like shorten up these like past few chapters. Because I did hear that there's art issues in this next coming chapter from someone who read leaks.
Oh no.
Like, yeah, I think Mike Up talked about it in you know, that other chat.
I see. Okay.
And I think it's just, you know, kind of like the Maki versus the Zen. You know, it was like unfinished panel but fixing the physical volume. It's definitely like that. You know, it's going to be something like that, I'd imagine. Or at least by the way people talk about it, it seems like that's the case. It's just an unfinished panel. And that would definitely like kind of point to the fact of the extra weekly workload of 2 color pages.
Okay.
Consecutively.
Yeah.
That's a guess, but
no, that's
I think it's
fair.
Reasonable.
It's not unreasonable.
Yeah, like that. Those color pages, man. Like, if you think about it, right? Like they don't have a huge staff working on every series.
Yeah.
You know, like Chainsaw Man Part 1 had 3 assistants and Fujimoto, but like I think one of the assistants was mostly just like a background. So when it came to others, yeah, and you know, like, because I forgot what series it was, but on one series, I'll try and like look up the name. One of the assistants drew a lot of the foreground art. And the creator just focused on the prominent character of the like, you know, the main character.
Okay.
And, you know, we don't know what Hokuzono's process really is, but, you know, just by looking at his art, it feels like he's basically drawing the meat of every chapter himself.
Yeah, I'll probably said some panels are worse than the Maki versus the Zenin thing, the initial drafts.
And I know people are going to be hella dramatic about it. Like, you know, it's the people that, you know, they'll say like, oh yeah, you know, Hokuzono deserves his rest or something. But then when something like that happens in the chapter, they instantly like switch up and be like, man, what is this shit?
True. Although I will also say one thing, that is the fact that Hokuzono went to the United States. He went to New York recently, and it could also just
he put a chapter out that week, I think, but he took the following week off.
Yeah, but he didn't take the week off because he put out the Sojo chapter, which was full
Oh yeah.
length. And yeah, he did put out a chapter that week, but you gotta realize that these manga are being made like 3-4 weeks in
Beforehand,
advance,
yeah.
right? So by the time you get to see a chapter, it's like already like 3-4 weeks later, you know? So this could just be the fruits of that. But yeah, unfortunate if that is the case. But for this chapter specifically, the art error was that Yuta has 2 right hands. So he grabs Uruha with his left hand, and Natsuki is on his right. And then when the shot zooms in, suddenly Uruha is being grabbed by a right hand, which means that he either quickly switched the hands mid-choke, or it's an art error.
I grabbed Hokito's cut off hand and used that pitch.
So yeah, it's either or,
Nah.
but it's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, like I think he should take like maybe take a month off after this arc is over.
I could see that, just recoup.
Yeah, a month is reasonable too, you know? Anybody that's like genuinely like invested him as a creator is gonna understand. And if they don't, then fuck them.
True.
Like, that's how I feel about it. You know, those guys are human beings. Like Ishida, you know, the creator of Tokyo, he also like writing.
Yep.
You know, which Chojin X is fire. My God, I think that's the best current series.
Really? Okay.
But,
I'll have to
yeah.
watch it then, or read it.
Bro, it's like it's truly gas. But he draws basically every chapter himself completely. He has like an assistant every now and then that will come in and do a background.
Oh.
And he's like, of course he created Tokyo Ghoul, so he has like status, you know, to where he told the publisher or whatever,
Right.
I'm gonna put out a chapter when I'm finished it. So there might be a month with no chapter. It's just the fandom accepts that because what he's delivering is next level shit.
Yeah.
And it's like we should nurture that kind of, you know, relationship with creators, and that's
True.
why digital is like a create like manga to go these days. You know, the page count that they don't have to adhere to a strict page count. You know, because in Shonen Jump, it's a publication. Each series, they're banking on them filling up the book. If not, there's no point in making a publication.
Yeah.
But online, they don't have the page count. The deadlines are softer. That's why Fujimoto, and there's like less restrictions in terms of what you can draw. That's why Fujimoto went to like part 2 digital for the reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's like pretty soon I could see like just creators are just gonna not want to be in. Shonen Jump is like, is iconic in Japan. You know, I mean, I gotta tell you, like, I know you were working on that video.
Yep.
Like they have the kind of pull to get Rurouni Kenshin's creator out of deep shit.
True.
Like it was their influence for sure that got him off easy. It's impossible to think otherwise. So people used to look at that magazine as kind of like an honor to be in Shonen Jump.
Yep.
But I think new creators are eventually going to be like, man, the magazine isn't putting out the kind of like quality it once was. You know, they're quick to axe things anyway. You know, like why would I like want to go work in those conditions when I could just, you know, put this out on Manga Plus?
Yeah, true. Oh yeah.
And that's me just not knowing like the whole state of Japan and like how they feel about the magazine. I know it doesn't sell nowhere near as many magazines a week as it used to.
I think that could also just be because everyone's kind of moving away from paper. Does that make sense?
Yeah, true.
It's like nobody reads the newspaper anymore. You go to Twitter, for example. There's like plenty of other examples of that.
I mean, and plus the environment, printing on paper, you know, it's like all that as well.
Yeah.
You got that argument. But like, that's the thing, it's eventually, you know, when is Shueisha gonna look at the magazine as just kind of like a money sink?
Oh,
You know, like,
yeah.
when are they gonna be like, you know what, maybe we should just step away from the physical. You know, we're still just gonna publish manga, but we'll have our own digital like entity, you know, online. And you know, Viz has their thing, but Shueisha actually just has, you know, I mean, they're the one who control like the IPs.
True.
So it'd be easy for them to like have overnight success with their like, as long as the subscription service is like reasonable. Hey manga, that shit is trash. Like I think you have to like buy like how many pages you read or some shit like that you pay for.
Yeah.
That is just booty. That's duty water. Oh, Kobe said Chojin X fan base is toxic as fuck, but the manga is good. I haven't really touched base with like the fandom too much. I just kind of read that to my own thing, and like I talked about it on the operator stream last week. You know, because I mean, he was gonna read it regardless, but I was pushing him to read it, and he that's his favorite thing now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, he loves Kagurabachi, but he really loves. It has probably one of the best like depictions of a villain.
Oh.
And the designs are gas, bro. The power system's like cool and you know, pretty like fun, and it like plays into like, you know, the, you know, kind of like who they are and their innate self, and it's just got a whole lot of like substance to it. My favorite thumbnails I've made recently have been like Chojin X thumbnails, just because the art is so good. You know, I like see it, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like making a thumbnail.
Okay.
I think you'd like it too. It starts off slow, but by like chapter 18, it's like non-stop gas from that point forward.
Oh, so it's kind of like Kagura.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, back to the errors. The second error was a typeset error, which was that Hiyuki's name was written as Yuki with a K in the middle for some reason.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's a small little error. It's insignificant, but yeah, it's an error nonetheless, and it is a weirdly consistent error because not like in the recent chapters, but a while ago they mistranslated, or not mistranslated, they mistyped Hiyuki's name to
Fucked
Hibiki.
up.
Yeah.
Hibiki, yeah, and it was when Kaguri tried to attack through the door because it said Hibiki's room or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh? Is that like a guest that we're supposed to know at the fucking hotel?
So there's that. It's a weirdly consistent error. And the third error was a translation error, and that was that they called Magatsumi malediction, right? In Japanese,
that's like Sukuna saying like malevolent shrine, but they put fuga in the speech bubble.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, the Japanese word is kodoku for the malediction, but instead they call it, I don't know, it's weird, bro.
Yeah, I actually looked.
They did change it.
ChatGPT.
They changed it.
I did see that. That's good.
They fixed it.
I mean, it's a clear fuck up. I mean, can't deny that. You know, like the art will get fixed in the physical volume, fine. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how are these like Kagurabachi should be getting put way more like PR push from them. Like I feel like it's just kind of not as. I mean, and it does well in the rankings, the Weekly Shonen Jump rankings. Like the like people when they send in their like little cards or whatever where they rate the chapters or they rank the chapters. Kagurabachi does good on those, and like we know Shueisha listens to those cards in Japan. So not that those dictate everything, but the series that do well or have a good average placing are usually kind of like get the benefit of the doubt, or at least. But it feels like, I mean, I guess Kagurabachi does get color pages, but if Ichi the Witch just feels like it's gonna get more love.
Yeah.
I mean, it does rank like number one a lot, which One Piece is the only series that really ranks number one as much.
I mean, JJK might come back and dethrone it. Depends how much people like Mojo.
I do want to see how like the Japanese fan base is like after maybe like 10 chapters, see how they feel about this, because it's a lot of times like swapped, like how we feel negative about something on the West,
Hmm.
they're positive on there. They don't like something, like they hated Chainsaw Man season 1, the West loved Chainsaw Man season 1.
Well, I didn't like it either.
I liked it.
No, I think it's because I was really looking forward to them like kind of doing a one-to-one from the manga, which they're doing with the movie, the art style, and the season 1 was kind of like cinematic with like a lot of CG and stuff. It wasn't really my thing, so that's whatever. I don't really care too much. But
I'm hoping they animate Fire Punch one day. I mean,
oh, they might, because
You
they're
ever read
going
that?
through the backlog. They might.
you read Fire Punch?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's a fucking fever. That's a fever dream of a series. Like I could tell you verbatim how the fucking story ends.
Oh,
Like, and you would like, and even as you go through the story, you would, until you get there, you're not gonna know how, like what I was talking about.
okay, okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna do that obviously, but it's just such a like far out there series with a cool premise, with some sus stuff in it for sure. It's very Fujimoto core, but
Mm-hmm.
it introduces some interesting themes in a very like kind of nuanced way. You can definitely see like it's not a perfect series by no means, but it's kind of one of those things where like if you really love Fujimoto, you can see like the inklings of greatness,
Mm-hmm.
and how he kind of came together for Chainsaw Man. He put it all together.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. But oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot to say was just because the Swordmaster didn't actually say malediction in this chapter does not mean that it cannot happen again in the future. Right? And then if it does happen in the future, then Samura could reverse it with Suzaku, or Chido could help him. He could absorb it with Aka. I don't really see a reason why he would want to absorb it, but
Samura gonna get PTSD if he sees
yeah,
once he sees the Sword Saint's powers. I feel like
dude, he will.
that
And
motherfucker gonna go blind again. He's
it,
gonna be like, fuck it, nope, slip
dude,
my eyes again.
it might actually just motivate him to work even harder. And if he does, right, he might actually potentially run out of spirit energy for the first time. That would leave him susceptible to getting sneak attacked, right? So I think it's funny how we've basically come full circle again to both Uruha and Samura being bombarded with death flags again. Because Hokusono truly wants to remind us that this is the Swordbearer assassination arc. Like both of them. Dude, Uruha came back and now he's back on the chopping block again. Like what?
Yeah, he's in like the worst position. Like these death flags are like really
Insane.
flying, boy.
Dude. It's actually crazy, bro. Both Samura and Uruha, they were on the chopping block, or like they got like the death flags at the start of the arc, and now they're getting them again. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, that like black goo. If he, he obviously is like summoning like the abilities, which is I thought he might have needed the sword in hand to use the abilities, and he was just gonna get like a physical amp. But no, it looks like he's actually going to use the abilities of the sword without connecting to the sword directly.
Mm-hmm.
Which, him not being directly connected to the sword like Kiora was, and the fact that he's in better health condition, that might help him fight against the corruption of, I mean, I know the spirit energy thing is still there, but
Yeah.
Kiora was like a direct, like constant feed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Yura might have that in his favor to like break away from like being compelled.
Oh. Yeah, I could see
I'm
that.
sure he wouldn't have did that if he doesn't have like a safety net that's like another gamble. He's just not sure if it's gonna work or not, but he has like a workaround that may work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is, I say it every week, on the podcast, you know, that Hokuzono's like, you know, let Hokuzono cook, because that motherfucker be cooking. The weekly engagement on his chapters is crazy.
He does.
Like, he always delivers an exciting chapter, or there's like a reveal, or there's like a dynamic. He always, every chapter has like something to it, you know, that is fun to talk about. And not many series are like that. Like, I don't think One Piece is that like that type of story. Like, you know, through almost 1,200 chapters, I guarantee you there's like some burger chapters in there. You know, to be fair, every series would. And with like Hokuzono, I think he's just good about like keeping the readers that are reading weekly engaged in the story, keeping it fresh. You know, like either he like really cooks with the art or like choreography. Like, he just knows when to like lock in on certain things, or he like focuses more on his pen game than, you know, drawing. But like, I think that man just knows the medium like really well.
He does.
He knows what we want to see.
It's actually crazy how good he is, and he's like around our well, he's a little younger than
son.
us.
Let me tell you something, son.
He's a little younger than us, but
I'm an old man.
Nah.
I'm the Samura of the group.
Maybe, but you're still like our generation, right?
I don't even know about that. I'm 34.
Okay. Well,
I'm Unk status for real. Like, I'm literally an Unk.
Okay, maybe you and Hokuzono differ a lot in age, but it's whatever.
Hokuzono could be my son. That's how old I am. Not really, but yeah, he's probably like, I think he just had a birthday, so he's like 25 now.
Yeah.
Which Gege was 26 when he started JJK.
Really?
Yeah, people don't realize that, because watch, let me look it up.
Huh. Well, I mean, it makes sense because most like, mangakas start around that age.
Because think about it, they were saying he was 30 or 31, like during the Cullen games or some shit, and JJK was going a couple years at that point.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up though. I could be wrong. He was 25 years old when he made And people don't give Gege the same like benefit of doubt as they did with like Hokuzono. I mean, it's a different time in manga too, the way things are like perceived.
Agreed.
And leak culture.
Dude, I want to quickly talk about the trader with you. So tensions are at an all-time high for who the trader is. And in this chapter, we get Ichiki's perspective on it. And so he surmises that there has to be a traitor amongst the top brass, since they were the only ones who touched the blade after Hiyuki and Tafuku. And this immediately made me think of Kudo, right? Because, dude, he's not clear for me yet.
I know you've been on this. Like, that's the thing you've been holding.
Dude, yeah. I'll keep saying it, bro. In fictional stories, I always go with the rule that if I don't see a body, I don't believe it fully, right? And especially
shonen.
Yeah, and especially because Kudo's technique is perfect for like hiding in walls, because it's like Mirio from MHA, where if you can just walk through walls, then you can do anything without being noticed, right? And he could have done some kind of sorcery to hide the presence of Yura's attack while the top brass were expecting it. And it could be.
I think he says that it has to be one of the top three, because they would have to be there when they reseal it to hide that energy.
Well, that's the funny thing. Let's say he did do it. The thing what I'm thinking of is like he told Hakuri that he's not really a fighter, so he's like bottom 9, right, from the council members. But that doesn't mean that he's bottom 9 in terms of sorcery. He just said he's not good at fighting.
He could be adept at that.
Right. So he could have, like, we don't know how good he is exactly as sorcerer, but he's good enough to be in the council. So it could be that he like permeated through the walls, and then while all 3 higher ups are like looking at the blade, he cloaked it. It, okay, I gotta
I'm
stop
not
with
saying
Kuro.
it's impossible,
I gotta stop. I gotta
like,
stop.
cause there's definitely a there's definitely like an argument that it's not impossible to happen somehow. You know, I personally think it's Yatsuru at this point.
Mm,
I think it's like almost like Hokuzo is like trying to play it off like it's like, man, this is really obvious. Like
yeah.
the head guy, and Ichi's there, Azami's there. So the one person that's kind of out of the equation, like I think it's like leading to her.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
you know,
I can
we'll
see
find
that.
out in
I can see that. I can see that.
13 hours. We'll find out.
So back to Ichiki's thoughts. He thinks that it has to either be Kasen or Yatsuru, and he wants to prove that his suspicions are unfounded. And since Kasen is ominously looking at the blade in this chapter and he responds with like no to Hakuri's plan, people
He
instantly
probably sounds
thought
like that too.
people instantly thought that it meant that Kasen was the traitor, right? But Kasen may be changing his plan because he has similar suspicions to Ichiki. Because all of this dialogue right now is solely coming from Ichiki's perspective. Like, what reason does Kasen have to trust Ichiki right now? And then Azami goes
Because
and...
he could be thinking the same exact thoughts.
Exactly. And then Azami goes and he puts suspicion on himself by teasing what his innate sorcery is, but not saying what it is. Or he just teases it. Why would you put suspicion on yourself? So it could be along the lines of like
He's like, is he stupid?
yeah. Like, imagine Azami's sorcery was the suppression of other people's spirit energy / sorcery. Hence why this guy's strategy of fighting is called assault and battery. Because with something like this, he could suppress anybody's energy and fight them, and like an equal playing field. That's why he's the suppressor. And then he could suppress Yura's energy in the sword without even being near the sword. You know what I mean? So he was clear in my head, and then this chapter he just went and threw insane suspicion on himself.
I mean, there is also the argument of, like, to what you're speaking on, the fact of during the chaotic events of the break-in, when they would like slip through the bubble of the barrier, the Hishaku, that would be the perfect moment for someone to come in and, I guess, well, no, because technically they would still have to play a part. But, anything could, because like you're saying, we don't know a lot of these like higher ups in the Kagurabachi sorcery. Brain memory manipulation is
Right.
It's a canon sorcery that we know that people have been like blackmailed into working with the Hishaku.
Yup.
We don't know if the traitor also is like running their own game, and they have like this like these like their own plans that they've been running in the background.
Exactly.
They just seemingly line up.
And then a next thing is like, if Yura's eyes turning dark like the Swordmaster and Kyora is symbolic of Magatsumi's energy in use, then how did nobody at the Kaminabi notice the energy leaking from the sword when Yura did the coin flip in chapter 87, or when his eyes turned dark again in chapter 88? Nobody noticed that. Is like no one watching the sword?
Yeah, that's another thing that like, because there is a point to that for sure. And unless Hokuzono just kind of covers his ass and just makes some BS statement saying, "Oh well, there was no actual will to activate the sword. He was just more so like connecting him to the sword master." And it's not until you actually activate the will of the sword to where it starts leaking.
But
I mean, that just seems like a lot of extra words for nothing.
I genuinely think that nobody was watching the sword, because the way how they say it, it's like only Hyuki, Tafuku, and the top 3 ever even saw the sword or touched it. So nobody else is
just
looking.
dumb.
Yeah, like what, dude? The first
like,
dumb thing.
Hakuri could like be the leader. We know he's got low IQ now.
The first dumb thing was to keep the sword in the same building as the sword master, And the second dumb thing is like not keeping watch of it. But whatever. Okay, moving on, moving on. I'm gonna get to your point that you've been making this entire time. So this is in my bullet points as well. It's crazy how all of this is going on and Yatsuru is nowhere to be seen. So this is then putting suspicion on her. So mind you, at this point, bro, I have suspicion on 5 people. I still don't know who it is. Okay, and also, by the way, just because we're getting a lot of inner monologue from Ichiki that points towards him being clear, doesn't actually clear him, and this is what you said just now. Azami says that the top 3 are the very best at general sorcery, and then remember how the Masumi were able to lock away Iyori's memories? Yeah, that falls under general sorcery. So, spoilers for Bleach, but it could be very similar to like the Fullbring arc where Ginjo was the main villain, and throughout the entire arc, he didn't even know that he was the main villain because Tsukushima messed with his recollection of the past. Let's say Ichiki is the villain here, or the traitor. If someone locked away those memories, then how would he know? Or if he locked away his own memories, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, the traitor doesn't know they're the traitor.
yeah, it could be anything, bro. Dude, anybody is still suspicious in my book. Just because Kasen has like the suspicion put on him in this chapter does not mean that he is the traitor. Okay.
Yeah, Dice was still not like Dice's thing was not ruling out Ichiki either. He was just saying like, yes, I know it seems most likely like it might not be him.
Yeah.
But the truth is like there's still tons of different like writing avenues Hokuzono can go to make it him. Like he's not completely out. Just like Kudo, technically, to your point, Kudo's not 100% out. You know, like. Because the thing is, if he's playing dead, obviously Ichiki and the other people would think he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So their statements about him being dead is because he's tricking them.
Yep. So in my opinion, none of the council members are true clear as far as I'm concerned. Like the most clear one I think would be Izaru. But outside of him, I don't think any one of them are clear. And
Fair.
Dude, Trader Talks will need to be like a bigger discussion on its own, and I don't know if it's going to be revealed in the next chapter. I doubt it, but because otherwise people would have already spoiled it on my timeline by now. But
I was trying to think about that. I was of the thought that it was going to get confirmed this next chapter, but I mean that was just a gut feeling I had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said though, I haven't seen any talks on it, and that would most likely be a huge talking point in the Kagurabachi space.
And also the thing is like
definitely leak out.
People were complaining, I think last week and 2 weeks ago and the week before that, people were complaining that Hokuzono was doing this traitor thing without us getting to know who the traitor is and without much setup. And I think those people were truly in the wrong. I think this is still part of the setup. The reason why this cannot be the traitor reveal is because we still have so much to cover about them before it truly gets interesting, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things about how I'm putting suspicion on everyone right now, it would not have been possible with the information that we had, say, 4 months ago. It would not be possible.
Yes, yeah. True. And I think that the traitor reveal could just be the jumpstart to the makings of a great character. That you know, a lot can be done with a little, and just because we don't know them, like remember, a lot of people had a different perception of what the Kabanabi traitor was.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like there's like people like, you know, technically the Kabanabi traitor at its core like gave up Kunoshige's position.
Right.
You know, like, so if all we need to know is how they connect to Kunoshige or what made them want to do that, but even then that can still be built up on even at this point in the story. Like, you know, supplemental writing is like it's just a skill that some creators like they can include like these like little things that really like flush a character out. Like I think Demon Slayer's creator Gotoge, I think her strength as a writer is in the short flashback stories of like the demons and the Hashira.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Short form character writing that it doesn't like they're the same character that we've been knowing because that's that's their origin, but it makes us see them in a different light, and we see why Tanjiro affects him so much, and
Mm.
in all that backstory, and Tanjiro just being his normal good boy self, like it works, but like I don't think she like her like connecting story arcs is her best thing,
Hmm.
or like the overall. That's why it's kind of vanilla, but and every character is like specifically tropey to some extent.
Yeah.
But she shines in that one aspect, and like Hokazono is not a slouch in character writing either. I think people should give more credit than
Agreed.
just assuming that it can't be done or it's not going to be done or it's not going to be good. Like he's really turned me around on Iori,
Hmm.
like Uraha. Like I liked Uraha before, but I really like Uraha for now, and I was kind of against him coming back at first. Like I'll be real about that,
Oh
but
yeah, I
I gotta say,
remember that.
yeah, his character has improved since he's been back. Like I can admit that,
I think
because
that was the
he,
episode that was on your podcast.
yeah, and I think it's just learn. I think some people just need to learn how to take the story for what the story as it presents itself, not what you want it to be or how you think it should be, or
Hmm.
because some creators will fucking really surprise you with
Yep.
like how they turn out a finish an arc, or like they just had this like one big reveal planned and it was all for that, and that could make up everything. That could make the world different
Yep.
depending on how much you invest in that specific character or whatever it may be. Some people just that instant gratification doesn't hit, and they're out.
So yeah, and
That's what leak culture is bad for
oh
too, because
my
it's like an
god,
early
true.
dosage, not get what you wanted
Yup.
or what you thought the chapter was gonna be. So they're just like talking shit, even though it's not even officially out.
No, you're so right.
People go into
And
like the new chapter with like a negative like perspective or predisposition created by someone else's like shitty taste.
mm-hmm. Do you believe in the possibility of one of the leaders also having been blackmailed and that they're not necessarily the main traitor?
I I I don't think so. Just Dice is kind of on board with this. I do know,
Mm-hmm.
or he's not ruling it out. I personally don't think so, just because like the blackmailing things are already. But I mean, that could play into it happening again, obviously, because the roots are there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it may, like I was telling Dice, to his benefit, even though I don't think it's true. We saw the list of names to some extent, or how some of the names can kind of appear to be, and that could be why we didn't get a lot of the Kabunabi High names, because what if their name was on that list, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
But I personally don't buy into it. But if it happened, I'd be down for it, seeing how that turns out.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Because the main thing that I was thinking of was like the main traitor is, as you said, the leaker of Kunishige's location, and it seems like someone right now is pulling strings. Even right now with like the
Mm,
swords, right?
I know where you're going. A separate entity, like trader group in the
Right, because
maybe.
the only four who knew Kunishige's location were people who were not in the top three. I think it was the guy with the eye patch. It was Azami. It was uh, Izaru and Kudo.
The
Those
top
four.
three knew.
No, they didn't.
Hmm.
They never
That's
knew.
uh,
I went back to
yeah.
those
I guess that's
chapters.
true.
They
Yeah.
didn't know. They weren't involved. And the top three are involved with the sword, and the four who were involved with Kunishige are not involved with the sword. So either there's a second traitor in their midst, or it's as I was saying that it's like an Aizen situation or a Ginjo situation where somebody's pulling the strings and nobody's noticing. That's kind of where I'm going with that.
That was I actually had all my stocks into there being, because Izuru talks about this, about like there being this second faction, and You know, they talked about there's like 50, like the main trader gave up Kunoshige's location. The other trader gave up 50, you know, staff workers' names.
Yeah.
And then they would know which, why they were going around. They kept talking about Kodo. And that they were talking about each person that has a seat in each section of the underground headquarters. Basically trying to like make as many trees go off as they could for more destruction, more chaos. That way, the second trader would be able to go move, you know, how they, whatever they wanted to do. It'd be the perfect, like, opportunity. And you could still fall back into the Kaminabi, you know, as long as you don't just get caught red-handed.
Yeah.
They would just slip right back in. Yatsura version.
Yeah. So it could quite literally be anyone.
Like, she's gonna come down the elevator right after.
Let's see, something else that was interesting was about the sealing of the sword itself. So why were the bandages still moving around? And then as soon as Kasen starts talking, the blade becomes fully wrapped. And I'm wondering, was the sealing only finished now? Or was that just like a defense mechanism because the energy started leaking? I don't know.
I want to know why that bitch isn't in a box wrapped up with the ropes and all that. Like, why is it just out there getting air?
It's
like,
weird, right?
The whole thing was like, because I brought this up in the last episode. I was like, why is it just out? Like, just you walk in the room and you're looking at it. You know, down at the. Why? I mean, I know it's got like the little Toa gates or whatever they are, and it's got like the ropes around it, kind of like the ropes around the box, but. Maybe Kunishige made that box specifically for it, but I mean, put that bitch in a, throw it in a Nike shoebox. Get a long ass Nike shoebox. Get something. Just don't have it out. Like that thing is like pure like nightmare fuel.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's weird.
Like if that black liquid just starts pouring out of that sword, oh GG's. These motherfuckers gonna submerge everyone on the ground with that liquid.
No, but actually.
If he gets out of those, like, see, the thing is, though, that man's really, like, malnourished, you know, like, that's why I think, like, if you're trying to set up where it's, like, the Sword Saint in his weakened state, but now has the energy that he's drawing from Yura, where he tries to fuck with Samura's head, you know, like, imagine when Samura and Chihiro get down to a certain level, the Sword Saint's just there looking at Samura.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, bitch, remember when y'all came to put me in this hellhole? I'm back.
Dude.
I'm looking forward to him having, like, his first real sentence. If he can even speak normally anymore.
I think he can. He should be able to.
Like, because he might just be driven by madness, and he's also under complete 24/7, like... Because we know the flowers are still blooming on Shikoku.
Yeah,
So
true.
his spirit energy is active.
Yep,
so he's still connected to the sword, and he might just... You know, maybe that drove him to like eternal like madness, just you know, going through that all these years, and you know, maybe the man might just stop off for like a burger in the Kaminabi cafeteria,
dude.
Because they're like that dude's existence is really like shitty.
dude. Do you know how, Samura developed his ability with Suzaku while he didn't have the blade?
If he, oh my god, this dude's gonna do some tricks with that.
Oh my, if the sword master,
he's gonna be Hashirama. He's gonna be Hashirama with toxic trees.
Dude, if the sword master developed his blade while he was like comatose, dude, they're cooked.
Y'all fucked up and gave me time to think about how I want to fuck Japan up.
They're so cooked, bro. They're so cooked.
It is like worrisome because think about it. If Yura's plan is to like get Samura and Chihiro underground, and then that's when he gets word, so the Hishaku dip by means of teleportation, and then they like seal them underground. With that barrier up, I guess you know, I don't know, like I don't think the Masumi can just teleport inside the barrier. You know, they could probably be of use at the elevator or whatever. But, you know, I'm trying to think of like a way that they basically cannot escape above ground. Because if Chihiro and Samura are underground, I guess Samura could still like call Owl in the sky and have his
Yeah.
feathers drop down and teleport above, on
Mm-hmm.
top.
I think
And
that's
if
his
he can just,
plan.
yeah, but now if Samura dies, Chihiro cannot spread those fish above ground, or at least not as easy. Maybe he can find a fish to swim through like cracks in the rubble or something.
I mean, you can just leave one
But
outside.
yeah, he could leave. They might not be thinking that far ahead.
Fair.
Yeah, they might be thinking they don't have an enchanted blade. Hirohiko's fucked up. They don't know what's going on inside. So they might be thinking like the Kabunabi's not gonna fall unless they have an enchanted blade. That's what they said. Well, you're just renting one. He's just renting one. Like I think that's the thing that I do like about Kagurabachi. It can be frustrating sometimes because they're so like when the things don't get answered like as quick as some people might want. The theories start to expand out a bit more, and they start to become a bit further and further out there. Like some people hold on to theories like way long
Oh
just because
yeah.
they're invested.
Yeah.
So I think it's also kind of fun and plays into like the weekly engagement a bit.
Agreed.
Because there's always that what if. Oh, there's something that added to this mystery, or it's. I just hope like when these like big reveals start getting paid, that like it's done well. And I have all the faith in the world in Hokuzono. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Agreed.
there's some weighty like story implications like hanging out there. And depending on how he like does like the traitor reveal and what does it actually mean in the story, like in connection to like Kunishige or maybe just ideals, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah.
Like they do hold weight, and even great writers can make a slip of judgment, and they just have like this one thought in their head that they want to do, and it just doesn't pan out well for the story. Like great writers still make mistakes.
True.
So it's like any series is prone to like that worry of just making the big payoffs to be like they feel fulfilling for the story. And I just want to see Kagurabachi shine.
Same. I would love that.
I got the faith in Hokuzono. It's just if a great writer can mess up, for sure a young artist or a young creator can mess up. I mean, the story's not perfect.
No.
But I think he's just delivering like the new exciting thing that's fun on a weekly engagement. And Gege was good at doing that. Because the Kusakabe chapter, no one can tell me shit. The Sukan Gauntlet was a year-long smoke fest. Like they just smoke demons throwing. Like Sukan was really about it. Like I was entertained, and it was a year-long fight essentially. That's hard to do.
Yep.
And I think that's why JJK was so successful. It's not the perfect story holistically, but week-to-week read was one of the most exciting things in recent Jump.
Let's see what else I had. Oh yeah, I really liked how Yuta reconfirmed that Uraha was Samura's trump card. And the reason why I like that is because we know that the only reason that nobody knew that Uraha was alive was because he told the morticians to keep his revival a secret. And we know that even if there isn't a traitor in the council members, it would have still gotten out that he was alive because they also had like different traitors in their midst, like the knives user and the guy who can shapeshift. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was thinking those elite commanders, I was like, what if there's a traitor and that traitor just kind of built their own faction within the Kabunabi, and they ended up talking some of the higher up, and the elite squads, their elite squads followed them, because each higher up has like their own elite command, their own elite squad, so, and we still don't know what all those people look like, and we saw silhouettes of them. So I was like, what if those silhouettes are tied to the Kabunabi higher ups? that are in the traitor faction.
Oh right, yeah.
Like maybe Kazani's bitch ass and Ikuto from the anti-Cloud Gouger squad. Maybe like they're a part of it too. You know, they have like reasons. You know, they have like this chip on their shoulder and want a vendetta against Chihiro.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, you didn't tell us the motherfucker can like sink with his sword from far away. You know.
So
like if you notice in the in that server, like the one we're chatting in, I posted like the 7 levels of enchanted sword bearers.
Oh yeah.
Like just that's why I put Sojo 2 and Hirohiko 1, because Sojo fully like synchronized with his sword and extended his usage of it. Like Hirohiko was getting there, but we still hadn't even seen him use the 3rd ability. So I figured I'd put him at 1, just for that like kind of early like rough draft. And I mean, I have a feeling number 7 is the Sword Saint. That motherfucker killed 200,000 people. Like with he's definitely level 7. And it's funny because there's 7 enchanted blades. Like that's the perfect format to talk about the enchanted blades usage.
True. Yeah.
Now we just need reveals.
Let's see, what else was interesting? Oh yeah, did you notice that Ichiki was jealous of Azami? Because when Hakuri was
I do remember something.
Kudo was like, yeah, Azami's on a whole nother level. And Hakuri was repeating that Kudo said that. And Ichiki put up like a really, I don't know, like, annoyed face. He's like, no, I'm supposed to be the strongest. I'm your teacher. Like, no, bro, you're not.
Yeah, you're old. You're Yoda.
You're not that guy anymore.
Yeah. Pal. Yeah, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Really funny.
I'll go back and look, because I do remember saying something like the interactions on that like just in that whole like conversation just feel like a little weird. Like they all like except Hakuri's just over there almost drooling with his slow ass. His little mask. Yeah, he thinks he's him with his mask on. That mask is gonna be fucking in pieces by the end of the series. He's just gonna have
actually. It's so funny too.
Yeah, poor boy is just straining himself.
I think.
And every chapter he's in, he has like a little. I don't know. It mess with his like the pathways in the brain for sorcery. I don't know if they feel that. I guess it's because he got better health. Well, they said they saved his sorcery by doing that.
Yeah.
So it was like they did it to him to save it. So I feel like I don't know if they're gonna be able to like reverse engineer that and then like heal both to get both back fully. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's off the table, just like we talked about.
Yep. What else?
Looking at the conversation. Oh yeah, that's right. He goes, oh, and he like has that little shitty eating look, side eye, and Azami, and Azami's just like playing the modest, Yuta like type.
Right.
Oh, he probably meant as a fighter. Feels like a bit younger than the other.
It's so funny. If you notice the little things like that, the story becomes so fun to read. Yeah,
like Hakuri's like little facial tick, like expression, like just in that same page at the bottom, you just see the side expression, and he's just doing like a little like, I don't know, like face, just like. Him and Kiri together. With like getting like if they do the mountain training with Itsuto Shirikai, like I can imagine those two little degens like it,
Dude, every chapter is an Itsuto Shirikai upscale, by the way.
Just that man lives another day. Oh, that's an upscale.
Yep.
They're gonna go to him and he's gonna have like a bear as a pet, covered in like bear pelts and shit. Like, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm now the king of the mountain too.
He's that guy.
I always thought about the like what's like the end game for Chihiro, because I want him to have a happy ending, and you know, the enchanted blades, they cannot exist in this world.
True.
You know, like Kazane was not lying. I mean, he's a little salty bitch, but he wasn't lying. I thought about, like, I used to make jokes of him starting his own, like, Seite, like a orphanage, basically, because he'll have, like, Iori's gonna be an orphan, Hakri's an orphan, and he's just gonna pay for the orphanage by being a normal sword master, a sword crafter. His little found family.
Would be nice.
Hakri's special ed for sure.
Let's see. Oh, my last topic that I wanted to talk about was that we get confirmation in this chapter that everything that we've been viewing up until now was a flashback. Because the point at which the Swordmaster stands up is like parallel in the timeline to when Chihiro and Samura are on their way to the Kaminari. So all we've been seeing was a flashback, and we knew it was a flashback because the moment the invasion started was the moment that Samura released Owl, which we know a whole fight took place after that.
Yeah, because they're like looking at the sky and they're like, oh,
yeah,
before they breach.
Exactly. So I just thought it was cool that Hokuzono gave us that little confirmation again in this chapter.
I knew he was playing with the timeline a bit because, you know, him showing the Swordmaster standing up was like proof to me, like, okay, there's something playing with the timeline here, because there's no way, like, this, like, the first thing he said in you know, the first thing he said in 18 years was Magatsumi, and that was during Kiora. Right. Now the motherfucker stood up because he had to maybe draw some energy from Kiora while they were like linked. Like that gave him the energy to stand up and move around now. And now that Yura's drawing on his power, that's like the needed, you know, extra boost for him to break out. Exactly. And I was like, there's no way that's gonna happen, and everyone's just like, you know, there was like a lot a decent bit has happened since he stood up in terms of like the chapter release. So I was like, yeah, there's definitely some shit. He's playing with the timeline here. Because they would be alert, code red, code red. The motherfucker stood up. You think he's gonna be able to hold a conversation?
Yeah.
I just want to see his first normal sentence. What is it gonna? He's gonna be like, "What happened to Kunishige?" That would be crazy.
Oh, imagine he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Oh, that would be crazy if he doesn't know.
Because he is his right hand home. Like, we don't know. Like, he could be a split personality to try and, like, you know, save himself somewhat. I mean, it seems like he's just in the pits of like hell. Yeah. You know, like he gotta die, but we just don't know how he's gonna portray like his like sense of self, really. Because he could just be a maniac, but I do feel like he's gonna be able to like interact. Or he's like, I smell a Shikoku nearby. And it's from Yura. He's like, a lot can happen, man. I love this feeling though of like when I wake up, because I usually wake up about an hour. Usually like that's the latest I wake up, about an hour before. And you know, me and Dice hop on like 15-20 minutes after the chapter drops. Right. And I love waking up with that feeling of like just thinking the possibilities. What's gonna happen this week? I love that. There's not many series I'm like that with, but when like I click the chapter and I see that first page, I'm like, what do you have for me?
It's so good, isn't it?
Like Chojin X is like that, but the chapters are like few and far between. Just because they're release schedule, but you can always count at Hokuzono, that motherfucker either. You should. Get on that Gege routine. Do 3 on, 1 off.
Do you think that Chiro and Samura are gonna save Natsuki and Uruha? Or are they
No,
dying right here?
I don't think. I don't think they're. I do think Natsuki's dying, but I don't think right here. I think there's going to be some intervention because there's still so many players on the board for like the Kaminabi still technically, um, to where like Natsuki is out here boxing with these dudes. Now, of course, he just got slammed but another elite commander could pop up and just do enough of a distraction for them to get away. You
Ah, I
know,
see. Yeah.
like there's still elite commanders. I mean, Shiba, Hiyuki. I mean, that's asking a lot for them to show up because them motherfuckers are never around. But that's technically still the truth that it's not impossible for them to just pop up.
Yeah.
You just, we just never know. Like, but I do think there's gonna be some intervention for them to get away from the grasp. Even though I think it should almost be an insta kill. Because if he's summoning those like little black circles around him,
Dude.
he's enacting the fucking powers.
Dude, hold on. You said something that got my gears thinking in my brain, bro. You mentioned the elite fighters. Where are they, bro? Izaru said that they all should converge on...
Yeah, surround the Hishaku.
Yeah, where are they, bro? We only got to see Kiri. We got to see Natsuki and his squad. And that's it.
Yeah, we know Ikuto from the past, and what's interesting, Hokuzono chose to draw one of the elite commanders, and it was the elite commander where the guy that is doing the he was transforming his appearance, and then the girl with the daggers.
Yeah.
He drew that group with that elite commander. So is he also a traitor, or were they just traitor? And he, even the elites, did they kill like their elite squad commander or something?
Oh.
Like I always thought that was strange, and it, but where the fuck are they? And if he does say the dude, the wannabe Ryu Ishigori dude with the comb and only 30% hair, he he should have just introduced himself as like an elite commander then.
Yeah.
Or like, when each of the moments where they show them getting pulled up on, like Pishaku gets pulled up on by like the visor dude, but the visor dude should be in Natsuki's group.
But you know what I think is like
it.
an actual fumble on Okazono's part? It's the fact that he already aligned the timeline. Because remember how I just said that the fights were a flashback? I think him aligning the timeline is a fumble, and the reason why is because it means that if stuff is about to go down, like, the major stuff, then it means that A, we're either not gonna get to see these elite fighters in action anytime soon, or B, if we do, we have to go back into the timeline again. And then it's gonna feel like the Swordmaster has been standing up for 25 chapters.
He's just, like, man, he stood up and he hasn't moved since.
No, he's literally been in the process of standing up for 25 chapters. It's insane.
He's an old man. He's like, oh, my back.
Yeah.
You just hear like bones creaking.
I think that's kind of a fumble on his part. But other than that, dude, I'm super excited to see where we go tomorrow and next week, of course. The anniversary's coming up. We might get the anime announcement soon in October. Dude, it's gonna be good things from here.
Anymore.
You don't?
Yeah, I thought I saw some on Twitter. Somebody was talking about what they already like kind of know what's planned for like the announcements, like the popularity poll, the first official one. And then I forget what the other thing was. I mean, they could just be bullshitting too. It was just a tweet I saw. Who, they might not know what the fuck they're talking about.
I think it's coming, bro. It's coming this year, and it's not coming at Jump Festa, and that was confirmed. So it has to be some time before that.
And Akane Banashi is another series in Shonen Jump that's like, I don't read it, but like people that I trust their taste on, like have good things to say about it, and it does seem like the art's really well done, and it's a slower story. It's not a battle, but that they're almost like they're above 150 chapters, maybe close to 200 chapters, and it gets good like ratings from the Japanese fandom,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not getting an anime announcement.
Oh.
It finally got. I think it finally just got it, but like people were kind of like in a Kagurabachi like jail where they were like, man, they're fumbling this IP. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna lose its like it's like a lore, it's glamour, but I they gotta be announcing it soon, man. Unless they got like that specific studio, they have a plan with them. That way they could like really put their like all into it. I think Musume just like I think they got an anime going seasonal right now, or it just ended. So maybe they wanted to wait till their work, and of course they work on this shit like ahead of time. But
Mm-hmm. True.
this could be why they're waiting. They have a plan to like roll out Kagurabachi with like its full like their full capability. Which if that's the case, cool. You know, I mean, a
Yeah.
heads up would be nice.
Agreed.
But I'm about to have to dip though.
Yeah, I'm ending stream right now, cause I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So
It's always a good talk, and
yeah,
plus, shit,
man.
it's a good freshen up for me too for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome, man.
um, I did want to tell you, I'm planning like to talk to some people about doing this once we get like a little bit more meat for
Mm-hmm.
each of the Hishaku members.
Right.
But I want to do like a big collab video
Oh, fun.
where I
Yeah.
give like each creator will like just draw randomly. I'm gonna get because is my thing, and I'm gonna glaze the piss out of them. But now, like out of the other 9, I'm gonna get 9 creators and just shuffle the
Okay.
who gets who, and then give them like a 2-minute slot to just kind of talk about what that character means to like the Hishaku specifically, like their role. Like they don't have to go in too deep, but basically they could touch on what they want to touch on in 2 minutes. Because I'm gonna do like an overall like touch on each character,
Mm-hmm.
but let like each creator kind of go into like what's cool about them or what makes them unique in the Hishaku, their role, things like that. And then just have like basically 10 different creators talking about the 10 Hishaku members.
Okay. Cool. I'm down for that. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, of course, want to include you on that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And yeah, me and Dice were talking. I may have to like step away at some point just from like shit. I got some health issues going on with my dad.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
But I might have to take a leave, and if I do, it'd only be like maybe 2-3 weeks.
Right.
I both of us kind of brought your name up to like come in and be like a guest host if you were
yeah,
like
sure.
open to that.
Of course.
Because Dice likes talking to you. Yeah, I like talking to you, and you know your shit. So and
Yeah, man. I'm
so
always
I'll
down.
definitely keep you in the loop on that.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah,
Alright, brother.
I hope he makes a speedy recovery with whatever he's going through, and that it's not too much of a tough process on you guys.
I appreciate that. It ain't looking good, but
Okay.
I am 35.
Yeah. Yeah.
October, so it's time waits for no man.
That's true. That's true.
But all right, brother. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Talk about that chapter. Send
Alright,
you a
man.
message.
See you tomorrow then.
Yeah. All right, brother. Have a good
Thanks
night.
for hopping on. You too.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me. Peace.
Peace. Thank you guys for watching the stream. It was a little bit chaotic, but good chaotic, fun chaotic. Got some progress in the game. So, yeah. I'll see you guys for the review stream tomorrow.